In episode 5, Marie wakes up with Jordan in bed, having no idea how she got there, but turns out everybody woke up in a similar situation. They have no idea where they are, how they got there, but it looks like they're at a frat house and they just simply drank too much. As Marie is trying to figure out how exactly she got in this situation, both Andre and Kate walk in and see them both in bed, and they quickly get out of there. It's awkward for Marie because she doesn't know what exactly her and Jordan even did, and before she can really process it, now two of their friends have found out. When they head outside, they find the fifth member, Emma, and she's passed out in the pool. But luckily, Emma ate so much that she's so big the pool looks like basically a kiddie pool. I mean, she's huge, so she didn't drown. But just like the others, she also has no idea how she got there. Jordan, Kate, and Andre get together and start talking about what might have happened, and all of them agree that they don't black out this long, because it turns out they didn't just black out through the night, they missed an entire day of their life. Emma and Marie head off to kind of hang out and talk about what might have happened, and as they're discussing it, Sam shows up. He apologizes for everything that happened the previous day, but they have no idea who he is. They just think that he's some fan that saw their videos on TikTok and wants an autograph. That's when Sam realizes they did it to them. They wiped their memory. They start asking Sam if he wants help, and he just explains there are dangerous people at that school. There are people that don't want you to know about me or the truth. I mean, you can't trust anybody. But since neither girl remembers this kid, they go, wait, so we can trust you? Sam tries to jog Emma's memory about the drive-in movie theater, but still, she has no idea what he's talking about. At this point, Sam realizes that this conversation is a waste of time, so he vows to find a way to prove to both of them that what he's saying is true, and then he heads off. Both girls leave really confused, kind of freaked out, and they meet up with Andre, Jordan, and Kate. They mention how they ran into this Sam kid, but nobody really recognizes that name. Kate then says aloud that she has a pretty good idea of who might have wiped their memory, and shows them a social media post that features Rufus at the party. If anybody could have wiped their memory, it would have been him. Marie then has to tell everybody what she did to Rufus, blowing up his tail, if you will. But Kate also has a Rufus story, and this one didn't end the way Marie's did, that's for sure. When Kate was a freshman, Rufus raped her. At least that's what she assumes. She woke up with a camera pointed at her, and he said, if you make this weird, I'll wipe you again. So she didn't say anything. This is the first time she's ever told anybody the story. And when Andre hears this, he wants to kill Rufus. Kate tries to brush it aside because in reality, she doesn't remember anything that happened between her and Rufus, but she knows it wasn't good. Before they can even formulate a plan on how to get Rufus, Andre is taken off back to campus because he's not wasting time. He's going to make this dude pay. As all of them were trying to figure out what happened to them, though, down in the woods, Dr. Cardoza and Dean Shetty were discussing exactly what happened the previous night at Cardoza's house. Cardoza's basically done. He doesn't want to put his family at risk, and he's sick of babysitting psychopaths, as he puts it. Shetty knows that Cardoza doesn't exactly have many options, so she says, what do you want? And Cardoza thinks about it and says, I want Marie. Her powers are like that I've never seen before. I mean, this girl doesn't realize how powerful she really is. So I want her. It could speed up my timeline. Shetty agrees that Marie is extremely powerful and she doesn't realize it, but she says no. She is a benefactor. Marie's off limits. For now. When Dean Shetty leaves the woods, she goes and she has a conversation with, of all people, Rufus. The conversation gets seen by both Jordan and Marie, who, as they were walking, discussed the previous possible actions of the other night. They just chalked it up to them not acting like themselves, but the conversation stops once they see Rufus talking to Dean Shetty, and they chase after him. Rufus is able to get away, or at least he thinks. He goes back to his dorm room where Andre is waiting for him. Andre goes to attack him, but Rufus uses his powers to put him under, where Andre wakes up in a fast food restaurant, knowing that he screwed up. With Rufus getting away, Marie heads back to her dorm room where she finds a very excited Emma. And that's because Emma is now a social media star after whatever happened at that party. I mean, she's all over TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and she's even broken the top 100. She's number 88. She's so excited to prove her mom wrong because her mom never thought that this was going to be possible. But she doesn't really want to talk about her. She wants to talk about what's going on with Marie and Jordan. Marie says, yeah, Jordan just said we're cool. I guess they changed their mind. But Emma says, well, did they change their mind or did you change your mind? I mean, come on. It's simple. Do you like Jordan? Do you want to hook up with Jordan? And at this stage, Marie admits she doesn't really know. Emma, however, gets distracted from their conversation because she sees a sweatshirt for the drive-in theater. The same drive-in theater that Sam brought up to them. Suddenly, the girls are thinking that this Sam kid was onto something, that maybe he knows what happened to him. That's when Marie remembers that Rufus was with Shetty. But what they can't figure out is what Shetty would want them to forget. And that's why Emma wants to go find Sam to hear his side of things. Right before Emma heads out, Marie starts scratching her neck, but because of her power, she notices that there's a blood clot in her neck. And then she realizes that something is in her neck. Using her power, she's able to get whatever it is out of there, and it's a tracking chip. At some point when they were knocked out and they can't remember what happened, somebody chipped them, expecting them to not find it. Well, Marie did. So Marie heads off to tell the others about the tracking chip while Emma heads off to go find Sam. And Sam didn't go exactly back to the drive-in. He headed to the sewers. Whatever demons the kid is dealing with get to him because he starts imagining puppets coming down from the sky to arrest him. And he starts killing all the puppets. But it wasn't actually puppets. No, he was killing actual soldiers who located his whereabouts and were coming to get him. When Sam is able to snap out of this psychosis, he just has a bunch of dead bodies who are all over the place. And Sam knows he was the one who did it. Sam gets back to the drive-in, and a short while later, Emma does show up. She admits that she doesn't remember him, but she does believe him, because someone clearly made her forget him. Sam understands and says, that's fine, I get it. She made Luke forget me too. And the she isn't Shetty, it's Kate. Unfortunately for Marie, that's the first person she went to talk to about the tracking chip. After explaining how she found it in her body, she goes to check Kate, but Kate, who isn't wearing gloves, apologizes to Marie and then wipes her memory of the situation. She stumbles out of Kate's dorm room to find Jordan sitting on the ground having a conversation with their RA, Maverick, who, by the way, happens to be Translucent's son. Jordan was actually talking about the relationship between herself and Marie, but when she saw Marie, she could tell something wasn't exactly right. Marie had this nasty cut on her shoulder, but she doesn't know how she got it. When Jordan brings up Rufus, Marie has no idea why they would chase Rufus. It becomes obvious to Jordan that somebody wiped her memory. Jordan thinks that it was Rufus, wiping her memory for a second time. She walks away, but Marie stops her and says, wait, I think there's something in your neck. And just like with Marie, there's a tracking chip in there. As both girls are discussing the tracking chips, Kate is having a heart-to-heart with Dean Shetty about how she can't continue to do this anymore. She can't lie to her friends. The guilt is eating at her. Dean Shetty tries to explain that what Kate is doing is the right thing. Because when push comes to shove, Kate is the only one who can keep her friends safe. So Kate really believes that she is doing the right thing. And after having this talk with Dean Shetty, she goes to wipe another brain. This one's going to be Andre's. After wiping his memory, they sit down, they watch The Mesmerizer, and then they just chat about how they probably should leave the school, get out, forge their own life, because at this point, the only reason why Andre is there is because of his dad. He doesn't know it, but Kate's all for that idea, just to get away from Dean Shetty. Andre's phone then buzzes, and it's Jordan, telling him that they found Rufus. Marie and Kate confront Rufus, but he vehemently denies having anything to do with wiping their memory. He tries to stick up for himself, pointing out that he couldn't have done it. He's been at the same place for 5 hours. But they don't believe him. That is until Emma calls and says it wasn't Rufus, it was Kate. Problem is, nobody ended up relaying that message to Andre, who shows up and throws a keg right at Rufus. Andre's about to kill Rufus until finally Jordan and Marie are able to get through to him and say it wasn't him. It was Kate this entire time. And at first, Andre doesn't believe it, but Kate can't deny it anymore. She explains that she just wanted to help and protect him. That's it. She touches his head. A bunch of his memories rush back, like getting knocked out by Sam, the Golden Boy conversation with Tech Knight, the video from Luke, everything. And to that, Andre just shakes his head looking at Kate and says, "You're a monster." Thank you so much for checking out this recap. Please consider subscribing to the channel and subscribing to my Patreon. Hit thumbs up if you liked it. Smash that thumbs down button if you thought it sucked. If you left a comment, I don't get back to you. I usually don't check the comments unless they're like a super comment. Also, if you don't see the next video up on the end screen, not to worry, it'll be up in a day or two.